Hello everyone, this is CJNovo992 and today we are back for another brand new video. The first of possibly two videos in quick succession, because not only do we have this match reaction to break down and discuss and the crazy game that was that 96 minutes, but we will of course have a new player at the football club, so we will have a separate video for a player profile uploaded either later on tonight but probably early in the morning, so I'll dive into that and give you all the information there. But as you can see, I'm wearing black and blue right now, so that must mean one thing and one thing only. I'm here to discuss that game of football, because genuinely it was more like a UFC fight than a football match. And if you watch that entire match, that entire 96 minutes, you will know exactly why I've said that. Honestly, there was more fouls than passes, and honestly, my ears are ringing for the amount of times I heard the whistle. It felt like I was in a disco in the late to early 2000s. I'm being serious, man. Do you remember that scene for White Chicks when Terry Crews was sitting there and he had his shirt off and he was blowing that whistle and he was like... and he was dancing. Honestly, I know we're very similar in terms of physical specimens, and you can see my muscles doing that as well, but do you remember that scene, blowing the whistle constantly? That's what it felt like the entire freaking game, man. And because this is going to be a really crazy recap where there's going to be so many stupid stuff to break down, if you didn't mind helping the old channel out as we push for 56k, that'd be greatly appreciated. But speaking of appreciate, let's dive in to the actual game recap then, shall we? Because going into the match, I was actually very happy with the starting 11 that was out on place. Big Bassy got down the left-hand side, and I'll tell you, son, he didn't really do anything wrong in the game of football. We once again had the left-hand side, and I think you can start to see something with him and Joe Rebo. They seem to have an understanding, and that could be pretty promising the more games that they obviously play. But I gone in, I was very confident, and I thought, alright, here we go, let's get some goals in. But unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, despite dominating the opening 15 minutes, it was very sideways, it was very possession based, it was very, let's see what you're actually gonna do. But everything we said in yesterday's preview video about this team being bogging, having a terrible start to the season, gonna be throwing everything that they normally do out the window to come into this game, rip up their normal plans and put on their Kilmarnock pyjamas and sit in and just kick the living lumps out of us. That's exactly what happened. And the tone was set in the game drastically changed on the 16th minute when the first really shocking challenge came in. And yes, it did pick up a yellow card and it was deserved, but it genuinely could have been a red. It was absolutely reckless, and for there, man, it just exploded. But before we do go on and speak about more fireworks from our side of things, there was one moment of magic in the first half that really deserved a breakdown of a goal, and it's no surprise to me that it starts with the foot of Hadji, who throughout the entire match, despite it not being a great team performance or a great overall performance, for me, Hadji at least showed what he's capable of, and he always looked like he would be the difference maker. He was trying the threaded passes, he was trying the over top balls, he was trying flicks, he was trying shots, he was trying to do everything. And in the 22nd minute, he found Ryan Kent inside the box. Kent opens the body up, left foot, I'm thinking it's in the back of net, but of course, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it kisses the bar and goes over. Massive chance. It was expertly created by our boy Hadji. But about 15 to 20 seconds ago, I went ahead and said the tone changed in the game and it started to get a bit spicy. Well, here's the first bit of spice in the game as Lundstram just comes in and absolutely nails one of their players. Was it retaliation for what happened to your guy? Possibly. Could have been sticking up? Aye. Could have been one of the fouls. You take one of them to stop a counter? Absolutely. But you only get one of them. You can only do one of them, right? It's a yellow card, and that is what we've been asking from the Rangers team. You think back to last season with the cup games we lost, we didn't have that player that was willing to do a stupid foul, get a yellow card, stop the attack deed right then and there. We wanted one, but we didn't want one that went ahead and made two in the space of 10 minutes. That's mental. But it really was the Lundstram show over the next 10 minutes, because that was in the 33rd minute, and then just a couple minutes later, Lundstram combines beautifully with Tavernier down the right-hand side. It's a great run from him. It's a fantastic cross into the box, and you're thinking it's in the back of net. Hadji's right here, Morelos is here. It's finding one of them, but to be fair to the Alashkert defender, it's fantastically blocked. Last ditch. Could even have smacked that into his own back in it because he's sliding in there to stop Hadji if he tapping in, but ends up getting the luck of the ball and it goes out for a corner. That's Lundstram at his best, combining, running whipping the ball in. But then, again, within a couple of minutes, we saw him at his absolute worst, where once again he misjudges the ball, the boy turns him, and then instead of just using the noggin, you're already on a yellow card, he just wipes the boy again, stops the counter-attack, and gets a deserved second yellow card. I can't sit here and argue anyway. I know it wasn't as reckless as the previous challenges and a couple of the challenges that went unpunished, but for me, when you're on a yellow card, you've got to be smarter and you've got to just sit back a little bit and give yourself that extra couple yards in case someone does turn you. He didn't. It's going to be a steep learning curve, ladies and gentlemen. His first game in Europe has been marred by a red card, and he's already got an upward climb to impress everyone at the football club, but he's just made that hell of a lot steeper. So it's going to be very, very interesting to see how he bounced back for that. But again, he's got nobody to blame but yourself. It was simply stupid. And just like last week's European match going in to half-time, the last bit of action to discuss in a preview was a second yellow card that led to a red. So we go in at half time, our heads are kind of pickled because we're like, what is actually happening? And I had a lot of frustrations. Not that I was ever worried about losing a game or giving anything. You could see we could turn it on, we could beat this team, we were creating wee half opportunities. But what really annoyed me is we were playing them at their game, at our home. You shouldn't ever do that. Their game plan was there to be seen. They were going to sit back, they were going to dive in for challenges, they were going to be nipping in folks here, they were going to try and wind us up, get in our heads, roll about whenever they're touched or when they're no touched, because they were flopping like a fish that's just been caught and dropped on land. Honestly, they were flopping away the shop, they were just trying to get in our heads, and for whatever reason, we actually lit them. And I mean, that spread throughout the entire frickin' team. So half-time couldn't come any quicker, and I was hoping and praying that Steven Gerrard would get into them, wake them up, and to tell us to stop playing ourselves at their game, because all that's doing is bringing the quality down and making this match absolutely bogging to watch. And for the most part, ladies and gentlemen, there was a distinct difference in the second half. Not only did Ryan Kent come off the park, it looked like he had tweaked something earlier, like in the first minute. Remember that long ball? He tried to do like a kind of spin move, and he kind of just looked there at the bench, and then he tried to do a spin move early, about 5-10 minutes later as well, and he was on it. So I don't know if it's an injury or anything like that. If I do get any updates, I'll let you know down there in the comments. But he came off the park, and that unleashed Scotty Wright, who a lot of us absolutely love, because there is one thing you can say about Scotty Wright: he is all go all of the time, and you knew the pace was about to pick it up, and right away he was heavily involved. I mean, the first main shout in the second half was the kind of half-hearted penalty shout where Scott Wright bursts down the left-hand side, gets into the box, but for me, it's never a penalty kick. I think the goalkeeper touches the ball first and the defender doesn't do enough, but at least that got the crowd up, that got the team up, because we're like, right, even though we're doing it 10 men, we're better. But from that resulting Scott Wright run that eventually did lead to a corner, once it got cleared away, it eventually came back in with a brilliant ball for Tavernier. It bounces in front of the goalkeeper, it goes up in the air, Morelos goes for the overhead kick. I think he sneaked it in. I'm going, no ways he done that, but yes. Goal line clearance, bar. No wonder I've got grey hair. And if my plump bags weren't fair enough, ladies and gentlemen, with that clearance off the line and with the bar shot so far in the game and being down to 10 men, just 3 minutes later in the 60th minute, again, good work by Rangers, penetrating, asking questions, dominating the match even though we're doing it 10 men. The ball gets whipped in beautifully, and I mean beautifully, by Hadji. Puts on a sixpence for your boy Alfredo Morelos, but unfortunately Morelos misses an absolute sitter with a noggin, and I just thought, is it going to be one of these nights? But thankfully, ladies and gentlemen, it wasn't one of those nights, because an unbelievable ball from Tavernier in behind the defence finds Alfredo Morelos. Now, my first instinct was, he's offside, because, I mean, it's Alfredo Morelos. How many times have we said that? There used to be a drinking game for that. But at times he's run absolutely spot on, so full credit to him. Just beats the defence, and then he's got all this space, he's got all this time. I'm thinking, go on, big man, just go by the goalkeeper or something. But the ball eventually goes a bit wide, and then he just stops running, and I'm going, oh no, what's happening here then? And then he just faces the goalkeeper. It's like Billy the Kid versus another famous Western person that's not coming to my mind right now. They're just staring off, and then Morelos just half volleys it underneath the keeper, slaps it into the back of it, and all that tension that was on. The Giannis has just been released like my Auntie Janice, ladies and gentlemen, because that goal there was badly, badly needed for this game, and the way we scored it was just so Morelos. That's why we love him. He's absolutely mental, but once again, he is the difference in a European game for Rangers, and that's his 25th European goal. Sensational record for the old Buffalo. And just in case you missed the game, you're watching this recap, you're thinking, right, Sage, you've kind of mentioned quick attacks there, back to back to back. Rangers must be dominant and actually playing well. They were up to this period, but if you thought the game was dirty when up to that point, it just took it to another level. And I'm laughing there, but also I'm so annoyed because I don't know how we finished with 10 men and they finished with 11 men. It was bogging to watch. Every single time Hadji touched the football, nailed. I mean, there was a guy that got booked, right? But he fouled him 3 times. He tried to pull him back, Hadji shoves him off. He then comes back in again, tries to pull him back, Hadji shoves him off. That should have been 2 yellow cards right there. And then he just comes in and absolutely nails him, say, you know what, you're not getting away from me, but surely, referee, there's 3 fouls in there, big man. Pick a couple. Speaking of a couple, by the way, we brought on the old warhorse himself because you could see what was happening. We brought in Scotty Arfield, and Scotty Arfield dished it out, and good on him for coming on there, using the noggin as well. No giving away silly fouls or anything, but no letting anything fly. When that boy nailed Hadji 3 times, Scott Arfield jogged on that park. And what was the first thing he done? Settled it. Sometimes you need that in a game of football. It's not always going to be 5-6-0 scoreline. Sometimes you need to just go there and battle and get out dirty. And we started to do that as the second half went on, but we still had a wee bit of football in us as well. Where Tavernier again should have had another assist in this game, by the way. I know he's took a lot of flack in here, but you're looking at 3 assists he should have had. He did get 1 beautiful ball, but he should have had 3 because in the 82nd minute he whips in a corner right to the back post. Big Connor Golton's there for his big boy header. I'm getting ready to do this for the first time of the season, but he just hits it inexplicably wide, and I'm going, oh, blow the whistle. And honestly, that's it. Usually for the recaps, I have to cut certain things out to make it fit in the video, etc. But that's pretty much the entire game. There were so many challenges, so many stoppages, so many boys rolling about, holding their knees, so many boys falling about. It just wasn't a great spectacle from a football perspective. But again, sometimes you kind of get to that level. And for me, we played down to their level too much in that match. Hopefully that's a bit of a learning curve going in to the second leg. But the most important thing was the win and the clean sheet. We got that, ladies and gentlemen, so we move on. So aye, that's a head scratcher, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know how you try and put that in words, but I certainly tried today in today's video. It was a game we went down to 10 minutes, a game that we only won 1-0, but it genuinely could have still been 4 or 5 if we actually took the amount of chances and clear-cut chances we created versus a team that offered very little but fouled a lot. And that's honestly it for the old game recap. What did you think about the game? Let me know down there in the comment section below. And if you do get involved in the channel, I will be speaking to you very, very shortly. But until next time and until the next video, speaking about our newest boy, Bakuna, who I think will have a lot to say about the midfield Rangers. Take care of yourselves, everyone. I've been CJ92. That has been a ever sleepy Rocky Boy Johnson. But take care of yourselves. All the best and bye-bye.